call Halaya, Yahawah, bahasham, Yahwashi, bahasham, Yahweh, and giving double honor to the man of great millstone that's out there in the highway and byway preaching the truth, and also over the internet preaching the truth and spreading the word all over the four corners of the earth. I believe GMS have the 100% truth. I'm not a member, but I follow and I study under these brothers, and I suggest you men and women that are listening to follow GMS as well and educate yourself, get that knowledge and wisdom, because you're gonna need it during Jacob's trouble, and Jacob's trouble have already started. It just haven't really warmed up yet, but it's getting there. And you need His word, you need His truth to be alert and to be aware of what's about to take place, so that you won't lose your mind, so that you won't try to kill yourself. You be alert and attentive, and you be circumspect on what's going on, while everybody else freaking out. Well, the topic of this subject is angels are men that carry out judgment and salvation for Yahawah, bahasham, Yahwashi. And these angels are not aliens. They won't call them UFOs. They are identified in the Bible. And these so-called UFOs are men. And it tells you that in the scripture. Now I'm going to make this here kind of quick, but I want to give you an understanding that these are not green ET monsters, big head, big eyes, with slime coming out of them. So we're going to go straight into it. Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 5 states that also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures. Those 4 living creatures are angels, the living creatures. And this was their appearance. They had the likeness of man. Point blank, there it is right there, the likeness of man. Verse 6, and everyone had 4 faces, and everyone had 4 wings. Verse 7, and their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf foot, and they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. So these angels also had color, burnished brass. We as Israelites, we come in the shade of brown. Verse 8, and they had the hands of a man. There you go again. Hand of a man. So that's point 1 out the way right there. Now, we are made in the image of man, right? So let's go to Genesis 1 and 26. Genesis 1 and 26. It says here, and God said, let us make man in our image after our likeness. Yahawah and the elect angels created man out of their image. And the elect man were angels that created man in flesh, in the flesh. So you have to understand that these angels are men. They are not what society trickery tell you that they are on these cartoons and these movies. They are not green aliens. They are men. Now, the aliens that do Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawah work, they are used as transportation in the chariot. They come and deliver. I mean, they come and give salvation, and they deliver up their elect. Also, the angels deliver Yahawah, as it says in Acts 1 and 9 here. They are used as transportation from the cardinal world to the spiritual world. Let's go to it. Acts chapter 1 verse 9. And when he had spoken these things while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. The cloud represents the chariot, and the chariot, and inside the chariot was Yahawah with the angel. They came to deliver Yahawah up, received him up out of their sight. Verse 10. And while they looked steadfastly towards heaven, as Yahawah went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel. And those two men, guess what? They was angels, not green aliens. There you go again, men. Verse 11, which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahawah which is taken up from you into heaven shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. So the angels that are in the chariot, they are spiritual transportation that are used for deliverance, and also they are used for fire. Because, for the 2/3 destruction and the heathen destruction at the end of time. When Yahawah come back, he going to use those chariots to destroy, like I said, the 2/3 and the heathen nation. But I want to stick on deliverance right now. Another example that the chariots came and delivered Elijah, not with the S, but the one with the J. So we're going to go to 2 Kings 2 and 1. And it came to pass when the Lord would take up Elijah into heaven by a whirlwind, that Elijah went with Elijah from Gilgal. Skipping all the way down to verse 9. And it came to pass when they were gone over, that Elijah said unto Elijah, ask what I shall do for thee before I be taken away from thee. Now, Elijah knew that he was going to be delivered. So that's why he told Elijah to tell me, what do you want from me before I get taken away from you? He knew that the chariot was going to deliver him up into the spiritual realm. So let me go back over 9. 2 Kings chapter 2 verse 9. And it came to pass when they were gone over, that Elijah said unto Elijah, ask what I shall do for thee before I be taken away from thee. And Elijah said, I pray thee, let a double portion of thy spirit be upon me. And he said, thou hast asked a hard thing. Nevertheless, if thou see me when I am taken from thee, it shall be so unto thee, but if not, it shall not be so. And it came to pass, as they still went on and talked, that behold, there appeared a chariot of fire and a horse of fire, and parted them both asunder. And Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven. The chariot came to deliver Elijah, deliver him up from this cardinal world to the spiritual world. That's an example of deliverance. Let's go to let's see. Those chariots are very, very, very important for our salvation. Yahawah, bahasham, Yahwashi. The water Yahawah. Brakatham Yahawah, Brakatham Yahwashi. The water Yahawah, the water Yahwashi. Here's another example of deliverance before destruction. Revelation 7:1. And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 wings of the earth, the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. The wind represents destruction, and it said, and the sea and the trees represent the people. Verse 2. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God, and he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God and their forehead. It was basically talking about, when it says seal the servants of our God and their forehead, we're talking about the elect men, the servants that's out there on the highway and byway preaching the truth, and also over the internet spreading the truth all over the 4 corners of the earth, doing the work. These were the men that the angel was telling the 4 angels, don't come with the destruction yet, until I put the seal of the servant, put the seal on the forehead of the servant. So basically, that's the angels are preparing to give these servants salvation before the destruction. Another example, we're going into Ezekiel 9:4. It said, now let me start up a little bit. Tell you what, let me start at Ezekiel 9:1. He cried also in my ears with a loud voice, saying, cause them that have charge over the city to draw near, even every man with his destroying weapon in his hand. And behold, 6 men came from the way of the higher gate with life toward the north, and every man a slaughter weapon in his hand. And one man among them was clothed with linen, with a writer's inkhorn by his side. And they went in and stood beside the basin altar. And the glory of God of Israel was gone up from the cherubim, whereupon he was, to the threshold of the house. And he called to the man clothed with linen, which had the writer's inkhorn by his side. Just like in Revelation 7, the four angels, they were ready to bring the fire, to bring the destruction. But if one angel cried out and said, "Let me put the seal on the forehead of the elect before the destruction comes." So, and this right here, the six men, they represented the four angels that was coming for destruction. But the man that were clothed in linen with a white, they were clothed in linen with a writer's inkhorn, he was the man to go mark the elect from judgment. So Revelation 7 goes right along with Ezekiel 9 in a way. So I'm going to go ahead and continue reading. Ezekiel 9:4. And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the forehead of the men that sighed and that cried for all the abomination that be done in the midst thereof. Verse 5. And to the other he said in my hearing, Go ye after him through the city and smite to kill him. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maid and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and began at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient man which were before the house. That's a very powerful chapter here, Ezekiel 9, all the way to 6 is very powerful. So basically, it was 6 men that was ready for war. The man with the linen, clothing linen with the inkhorn, had to go put a mark on the elect men and children, men and women and children. And he told the 6 men not to come near the people that was marked. Only get the men and the women and the children, the maid, old and young, go after them and slaughter them. But first, start at the house. Says here, and start here, beginning at the ancient man which was before the house. So when it come down to judgment, the good Lord, he doesn't care, he doesn't feel the way we feel, even though we are, we made after the image of Yahawah, bahasham, Yahwashi, and the angel. But his feelings is not our feelings. He gave us feelings. He get jealous, yes, we get jealous. But when it come down to following his commandment and doing the right thing, being righteous, he mean that. Being wicked, that's your ass. So you always striving to do right. You always want to follow the laws and commandments and have faith in his son. Faith, faith is one thing, but you need to do the commandment. Doing the commandment is one thing, but you need to have faith in Yahwashi, bahasham, Yahawah, bahasham, Yahwashi. You need to have that faith, and you need those commandments. You need both of them, not just one or one. You need both of them. Going to the last verse, it would be Second Esdras 13 and 1. Second Esdras 13 and 1. And whoever listening, if you don't have an apocrypha, you need to go get you a apocryphal book. Because these books here are the books that were taken out of the Bible. And it's very important that you get it. Second Ezra 13 and 1. And it came to pass after 7 days I dreamed a dream by night. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that was under him. Verse 4. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all that burned that heard his voice, like as the earth felleth when it filled the fire. Verse 5. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. The man that came out of the sea was Yahawah. And the multitude was the army of the earth that went against the man that came out the sea, Yahawah. But Yahawah, he didn't come alone. Yahawah came with angels. As it said back in verse 3, I beheld, and lo, that man, Yahawah, waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. The thousands of heaven, if you go to Psalm 68 and 17, it was talking about the angels. You know, I'm not going to go into that right now, but you can go to Psalm 68 and 17. It will tell you that it was thousands among thousands of angels. Going to verse 6. But I beheld, and lo, and he had graven himself a great mountain, and flew upon it. He flew upon a chariot. But I would have seen the region or place without the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which was gathered together to subdue him were so afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor an instrument of war. It says this here that going back to verse 8, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they which was gathered together, talking about the army of the world, the armies of this heathen world, the heathen nation, gathered together to subdue Yahawah, and they were sore afraid. But the good Lord, Yahawah, put the spirit of fight in them to make them fight, to glorify Yahawah, because he's coming to destroy. So going to verse 9. And lo, as he saw the violence or the multitude that came, they were, good Lord gave them the spirit to fight. He neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. Yahawah didn't do anything. What he did, he commanded the chariots to bring out the fire, to bring out the destruction onto the multitude of hosts, the armies of the world, to destroy them, to burn them. Verse 10. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lip a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. Now when it said out of his mouth, out of his tongue, basically Yahawah was giving orders to the chariot, to the angel, to shoot out the fire of the chariot. Because if you go back to what was it? Verse. Give me one second. I know I just read it. Give me 1 second. I cannot believe I just read it. Now I can't even find it. Oh, here it is. Verse 9. Yahawah didn't do anything. The chariots did the burning. The Yahawah just gave the order. Verse 9. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, Yahawah, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. So he didn't lift his hand up with any sword or any instrument of war. He spoke of destruction, and the chariot brought the fire and brought the destruction on those armies. So going to 11, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude, the armies, which were prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an numerous multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. Now that's destruction to all the 2/3, to all the heathen nations. That big, vast army, host of army, was burnt, was destroyed. Now here's the deliverance. That here's the salvation. When before all this happened, the people, the elect, was already in the chambers. They was already hidden for an hour. Now, when everything was said and done, everything was completed within after that hour was up. Here come the elect. It says, verse 12. After I saw the same man, Yahawah, come down from the mountain was the chariot, the great big vast chariot, and call upon him another peaceable multitude. The peaceable multitude was the elect. And there came much people unto him, whereof some were glad, some were sorry, some of them were bound, and others some brought of them that were offered. Then was I sick through great fear, and I wait. So I'm gonna stop right there. But the chariots of Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawah are men. Number one, they are not aliens. They are identified in the Bible as men. Number two, the chariots, the chariots that the angels use as transportation, they are used for deliverance and judgment, all for the work of Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawah. And on that note, I'm going to end it here and come back with another lesson later. Shalom, shalom, shalom.